Hey, folks. This message is focused specifically on Susquehanna County, where I live up in Northeast Pennsylvania, and is intended to get people fired up and have them turn out for an event that we're having this Thursday. Having said that, I think the basic subject matter is relevant to a whole lot of people across the state of Pennsylvania, across the entire Commonwealth, because the situation that we find ourselves in up here in Susquehanna. Let me uh, let me pause notifications for a minute because my screen is just continuously flashing incoming messages. The situation we find ourselves in up here in Susquehanna County it isn't unique. What we're dealing with is the kind of stuff that folks in many counties are dealing with in the state of Pennsylvania. And so even if you're not in our immediate area, I think you probably find it relevant. Susquehanna is like a lot of counties across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, right? You got 40,000 people and change in an area of small towns and farms and open country, and it is a red county. 2/3 to 3/4 of the vote in every election goes to the Republican Party. And I think people probably have a tendency, therefore, to feel like maybe many of the issues that they're worried about, many of the issues that they see whenever they go on television, whenever they log on online, they're confronted with all this chaos and madness all around the country, and yet somehow we're okay here. We don't really have to grapple with those issues here. Maybe in Philly, maybe in Pittsburgh, certainly in New York, but we're good to go. In other words, folks are a little bit asleep. They got a bunch of Republican office holders in place, and therefore it's all good to go. And that's not the way it works. It's time for folks to stop looking at the fact that you got an R next to your name, or you claim to be a Republican, or for that matter, listening to the verbiage you spew whenever you're running for re-election. And it's time for them to hold people accountable. It doesn't matter what you say. What it matters is what you do. And I could go on probably forever talking about issues that are critical to us, but let's just talk about a handful of them. Let's just talk about elections. Okay, we went to mail-in voting back pushing 5 years now. Something that nothing close to a majority of Republican and conservative voters in the state of Pennsylvania wanted. In fact, had been anathema to Republican voters forever. And yet a Republican-controlled legislature put in place Act 77 and gave us this disaster, which is mail-in voting. Okay, so we're getting ready to go into another presidential election. Talking to you right now, Susquehanna, but by extension, every other such county around the state. What exactly have your Republican lawmakers done to fix that situation? I'll give you a hint. The answer is nothing. The law has not been repealed. The law has not been amended. And really none of the problems have been fixed. Okay? Last time we voted in a presidential election, the courts told us postmarks don't matter. Signatures don't matter. Proof of when the thing was mailed, the ballot was mailed, doesn't matter. Basically, nothing matters. Count anything that comes in whenever the heck it comes in. Nothing, absolutely nothing has been done to change that. Electronic voting machines. You hear all the time about how they're super high tech. and they got proprietary software. You know what proprietary means? It is not a synonym for cool, gee whiz, or cutting edge technology. Proprietary means the company, the private company that supplies the machine, controls the programming and the software, and they are the only ones allowed to know how it works. And just think about that for a second, because this is an election not sponsored by Dominion Voting Systems or any other company. It's a public election run by your elected officials who don't get to know how the thing works or open it up or control the algorithms or anything else. Have we done anything to fix that since the last election? No. Drop boxes. Okay, Susquehanna, you're not worried about them because your commissioners have actually done their job and you don't have drop boxes, as is true in the majority of counties. Okay. 40,000 people plus live in Susquehanna. A few more live in Philadelphia and the surrounding counties. What are the rules there? By the way, the drop boxes exist only because a court said they should exist, right? They're not even in the statute. Last presidential election, there were, if memory serves, 72 completely unmonitored drop boxes in the city of Philadelphia, and stacks of evidence that people were showing up and throwing armloads of ballots into those drop boxes. Has your legislature done anything about it? Back to you, Susquehanna. Your Republican legislators, those folks who show up every time they want to get reelected and tell you that they're working for you, have your Republican legislators down in Harrisburg done one blessed thing to fix this? I could go on all day about elections. The point is, absolutely nothing's changed. We got massive issues with the pushing of this new transgender ideology in our schools. All kinds of things. Couth, this online software made available to kids in schools now in the state of Pennsylvania, that basically tells them that any issues they are having is because they were born into the wrong body. We got libraries filled with books that are completely age inappropriate, pushing transgender ideology, telling your little boy that he should be a girl, your girl, she should be a boy. All of this, by the way, pushed through without anybody asking you. Is your elected state rep doing anything about that? Your state senator doing anything about that? We have a massive national crisis at the southern border, with the state of Texas standing up to the federal government and refusing to allow this avalanche of people to continue to swamp us every day. Okay. More than half the state governors have voiced their support for Texas. Many states have sent National Guard troops. Where's Pennsylvania? And okay, you're going to tell me that Shapiro won't go along with this. Okay. Where are your Republican elected representatives? Where are they standing up and demanding this? Where are they making an issue? Across the board, this is the question. You tell me you're a Republican. You tell me you got an R next to your name. Why do I care? What does that mean? And it is long past time for folks to demand answers to that question. And when they an answer to that question, and when they don't get the answer, when it is obvious that what you're being fed is a line, and you got somebody in front of you who's just giving you used car salesman talk, well, it's long past time to turn them out and put people in office that will fight. This Thursday, Green Gables up in New Milford, 6:30 p.m. I'll put the information below as well. But for those of you in Susquehanna or surrounding areas, we'll be meeting up there 6:30 this Thursday, Green Gables Restaurant. And what we want there are the people who are ready to roll up their sleeves and do something about this. It's time to to cut to the chase. It's time that folks who will not fight for you to lose their jobs and be replaced by people who will. We don't care that you've got an R next to your name. See you there.